question. Okay, let's start the recording in here to get going. I know you guys are very excited to get going. And let's record. This is our webinar for week 11. You guys made it to week 11. Very nice. Very nice. All right, you guys. So everyone go back to the webinar if you're not already back there already. So you should see on the screen our very first page, right, where the Core 3 webinar week 11. Is it appearing on your screen yet? It will be soon. Carrie, you must have got booted out, but that's okay. We are now going to start with the webinar, you guys. So we're going to go back to that discussion. We're going to talk about it in a minute. But this is how we'll start our webinars from now on. You guys will go into Schoology and you'll put in a post, and then we'll go back and talk about it. And then, assuming that you at least try, and you guys are all trying, your webinars are going to be graded on your participation. So if you don't attend the webinar, then you'll have to be very detailed on your post. And then you have to go in and respond to others too. So just make sure that you guys do that so that you can get an advanced or proficient. Okay, so we are not wrapping up. That was the last slide that came up. All right, so our objectives, you guys, we didn't graph absolute value equations or solve them last time, so I want to go over those just to make sure we're on the same page with that. And then I wanted to talk to you guys about where to start in quarter 2, just to make sure we're on the same page, and I'll go through and show you that. And then we'll talk about how long to get caught up and the format for all summative assessments. So if we go into Schoology, let's say you guys are going into Core 3, your favorite class, right? Favorite class? Good. Everybody type yes, raise your hand.
No.
Marquise, yes. Anyway, you guys will go in here and you'll see quarter 1 and you'll see quarter 2 now, right? But some of you guys are not on quarter 2, so I don't want you to click on quarter 2 yet. You're going to go ahead and click on quarter 1. When you go into quarter 1, you won't see this grade area because that's hidden from you guys. So you won't see Unit 1 anymore. You're done with Unit 1. So if you didn't take the Unit 1 test, that impacted your grade, and your grade is in for quarter 1 and you're done. But if you did, then that also impacted your grade, either positive or negative, hopefully positive. And you are now in Unit 2A. So though, look up here, this is still quarter 1, but if you hadn't gotten to it yet, you're actually going to go ahead and click on Unit 2A, weeks 6 through 10, and that's where you should start. Just because you can't do the second half of Unit 2 if you don't do the first half, which would be so lost. So you want to go ahead and get through at least 2 weeks a week. So for example, this week you should make it your goal to get through weeks 6 and 7. Right, Marquise? 6 and 7. 6 and 7. And you guys can do it. In fact, you know, you could get through a whole week in one day if you really put your mind to it, especially with some of the things in there that aren't too difficult or aren't too time consuming. And there's not a huge amount of computation in week 6. It's mostly just, you know, conceptual understanding, except for the average rate of change, which is basically just slope. But anyways, you come through here, when you get to week 10, you'll see that it says wrap up quarter 1. You guys know that we're in quarter 2, but you'll still need to go through and take this unit exam for 2A. That's the first part, right? But you'll notice that week 10 is small, right? There's not much in there. There's the webinar that we did last week, and then there's a review, and then there's an answer key for the review. But you have to do the review, submit it, and then you guys will go into the answer key, open it up, check your answers, see how you did, right? I want you guys to be able to give yourself feedback at any time. And then if you feel like you did pretty good and you don't have a lot of questions, then you would go ahead in here and take that final exam, okay? And no one needs to do the enrichment activities. That's just optional if you're on an honors track. Okay, so don't worry about that. So anyway, you guys, week 10 is pretty much nothing, right? It's just a test, a review and a test. So if you think about really the material that you have to make up, if you can do week 6 and 7 today, and then maybe if you can do this week, I should say, and if you can do weeks 8 and 9 next week, then that third week is a fall break, so I won't have any material for you guys. I won't make any lessons for you guys, so you can work during that time on maybe taking this test and then doing this week. And then when you come back from the break, you'll be totally caught up and we'll all be on the same page. So how does that sound, everyone? Carrie, no, the one you did the other day, well, unless you took the wrong one first, but the test you took was Unit 1. That was the statistics test. So Carrie, Katie, yeah, you guys took the statistics test. That was Unit 1. So I think pretty much all you guys all took the statistics test. are a few people that did take the Unit 2A test because you were caught up, but and if you are and you're totally caught up, then this is all new to you because you're just going to be starting week 11 and you're good. Okay. So anyway, so it shouldn't be too bad. So the most that anybody should be behind would just be these pretty much these 4 weeks, right? Because week 10 doesn't have any new material. So that's the most. And trust me, you guys, you can definitely, it's designed to where you can get a week done in like a day or 2 if you wanted to. You could do it. You definitely could do it. Okay. So we pretty much went through where to start, how long to get caught up, right? Do about 2 weeks a week, and you will be caught up by the end of the fall break. And you, trust me, you guys don't want to get behind when it's Christmas time and all that, because then you're trying to do other things, like have, hot chocolate. You don't want to be doing that, catching up. So, and then we talked about the format for all summative assessments. So whenever you guys get to those, the format that I was talking about was that you'll always have a review. You always have an answer key for the review. And also, I'm going to start having those every 2 weeks. So they're going to be shorter, so it won't take you as long, It won't take you as long to get through them, and you'll be more comfortable with them because it'll be every 2 weeks. And the other thing, guys, don't forget on the summative, because a few people I had to reset, that when you get to one of those, they're not resumable and you have to do it all at once. So you can't start it, leave, and come back to it, or otherwise it'll block you out, and then you'll have to message me and say, Miss Elliott, I need help getting back in. Okay, any questions on the questions? Questions on the questions. How are you guys? Good?
I'm hungry.
Oh, that's not a question? Marquise?
Oh,
what happened? Oh, wait, webinar. Oh, I just got logged out on my own self. I logged out my own self. How about that, you guys? Okay, well, I'm just going to come back in. All right. Sorry, Marquise. We do have some cinnamon roll pull things. Did you notice that? It might be eaten by now, but the Schneider brought them in. All right, guys, then we're going to go forward with our wonderful webinar. Wonderful, wonderful webinar. The English teacher tell you that's almost an alliteration. All right, so absolute value, graphing absolute value using transformations is really an easy way to do this. So raise your hand if you have done, hey, wait, will our new assignments be, no, your new assignments won't be considered late. No. I don't ever do late assignments. The only way that it impacts you guys if you have late assignments is if you don't actually get to them and then the quarter ends and then I have to give you zeros. So I don't take off if they're late. We're online, so you guys, some people work fast, some people work slow, but just try to get caught up. Okay. All right, so you guys raise your hand. I know you guys like to use a little hand raiser guy. Raise your hand if you've done absolute value before. Anything with absolute value. On any. Okay, that's good. Marquise had a manual hand raise. Katie, Emma, nice. Oh yeah, hi Emma. Glad you guys are in there. Okay, so let's talk about this, you guys. Oh yeah, Emma, you actually finished this, I think. But anyway, we're going to list the transformations. So these transformations, like I said, you guys are going to see this with every function. So we did them with linear already. We're doing them with absolute value, but we're going to do them with radical and rational functions and logarithmic and exponential. So you have to be really comfortable with them. But the nice thing is you'll get used to them, and they're all the same. So it'll be like the back of your hand. So this first part, remember, that's your stretch or your shrink, and we've talked about that before. So the 1/3, all right, you guys, in your notepads, type your name real quick. So grab a notepad. Carrie asks, what is absolute value? Well, Carrie, absolute value is just the distance away from the origin, basically. So, and the origin can be different locations, but let's just say the origin is at 0. And if you are 2 feet away from the origin, you could be 2 feet to the right, or you could be 2 feet to the left if you picture a number line. And when we think about distance is not negative. Kind of talked about that a little bit before. Since distance is not negative, the answer is just 2. Even though you could be to the right or you could be to the left, the answer is you're still just 2 feet away. So absolute value, whenever we take the absolute value of something, we always make it positive. And these straight bars mean absolute value. So this equation is the function is equal to 1/3 times the absolute value of x minus 2, and then end absolute value, right? And then plus 4. All All right, so good. You guys all typed your name. So tell me, you guys, is the 1/3 going to be a stretch or a shrink? So type that in your note pods. Is that a stretch or a shrink? You have to tell me what to write. I don't know what to write. You must help me. That's totally good. Go on a limb. Limb is the best. Go on a limb. So Carrie is typing. Donovan is typing. And you guys, you only have to type one word. Stretch or shrink? Shrink. Carrie is stretch. Edwin is shrink. Emily is S, but that doesn't count, Emily. I know they both start with S, but you have to pick one. Oh, shrink. Okay, good. Katie is weight. No, that is not the right answer, Katie. Emma, I know you know what it is. You did these, Emma. Emma, are you there? Oh, Marquise, you're way up there. You picked the little one. I didn't know anyone would notice that one.
I did.
You didn't? You picked shrink. Okay, so we have a lot of shrinks. Somebody said stretch and then changed their mind. Don't know. Carrie, Katie, where you guys are MIA, missing in action. So the right answer is, in fact, you guys are good because it's a fraction. Oh, that's a weird S. The answer is, in fact, shrink. Shrink of 1/3. Good job, you guys. Good job. If it was a whole number, or a number greater than 1, I should say, like 2 or 3 or 4, that would be a stretch. Okay, so we have a shrink of 1/2, so that means that our graph is going to become less steep. So our absolute value will be less steep. Okay, so second thing I want you guys to type, this -2, what is that going to do? What transformation is that? Emma has a shift right in there. So you guys, we got an x -2. What is the -2? And I'm going to change your screen for just a second. And I'm going to give you guys a very special preview that we looked at maybe before, or maybe not. Actually, we didn't look at this one before. Oops. Okay. Okay, so no, go back. I know, Katie, I went back. So Donovan said shift left, Emma said shift right, Emily is a shift right, Carrie is a shift right, Katie is nothing. Marquise, what are you? Edwin, what are you? Shift right or left? It is a shift left or right, that is true. At least that is good. What do you guys think? Jasmine, you don't have a box. Okay, you know what, Jasmine? Your box is the chat. How about that? Move over +2. Yay, see, you get a special box, Jasmine. I reserved the chat just for you. Marquise found my little tiny box up underneath my picture. I didn't have any more room for any more boxes. Oh, do you have a question there? Oh, you don't have a box either? Oh, I don't have enough boxes for you guys. Okay, here's what you can do. You can type with Jasmine in the chat. Because 2 people can type in there at the same time. Whoa. So sometimes people get, oh, I see. It's because Katie made hers big. Katie. Okay, so we've got everybody that said move over 2. Katie, make your small again. Thank you. Thank you. And so if we think about what this is, x -2, I'm going to show you guys. So watch this. This is very cool. So here's our absolute value graph. Did you guys all know, remember from last time? Your computer died? Like out of energy? Donovan is going to figure out a way to come to your rescue. All right, you guys, don't let your computer die. So anyway, you can look at his while you're this is an absolute value graph. We looked at that last time when we talked about going to the county line. You guys remember that? So it's a V. So now if I go in here and I say x -2, so where is it going to shift, you guys? It is shifting to the right 2. So if you go through that lesson, you will see, in fact, that it does shift to the right. So good job. A lot of you guys said to the right. I know why you said to the left, some of you guys, because of the minus, right? And that was very logical, especially if you haven't done the lesson, you would automatically think to the left. But it actually shifts to the right because we are looking at our x-intercept, right? And what is our x-intercept on this graph that I'm showing you guys right here? 2. Good, so we've got some 2s. Emma, okay, you can go to work, that's fine. And then, but actually, well, Emma, okay, so Emma, when you go back, just make sure you go back to the discussion and that you do the response part of it to somebody else's. You either have to type a question or something that you learned. How about that? Okay. So anyway, this is the x-intercept is 2, and if you look at that x minus 2, in order to solve for x, you'd have to move 2 to the other side of the equation. So you'd have to add 2 to move it over. And that's actually the underlying reasoning why it is shifting the opposite way. So you guys might not remember that, but I just want to tell you why. Okay, so very good, you guys. So good. We are going to, I'm glad you guys guessed. See, it's okay to guess wrong, too, because then we can talk about why. Oh, this is not a strength. This is a shift. Sorry. I'm going to make a tough one. So this is a shift, shift right. Okay, last one then. The +4, what does that do, you guys? So write in your chat box or your iPads, not your iPads, your notepads. What does the +4 do? What does the +4 do? What do I respond to? Oh, Emma, what you're going to do is you're just going to read somebody else's response, and then you're going to either write a question that you might have for them, or you're going to write something that you learned, basically. Okay, thanks, Emma. So Jasmine, so the number is 4 that we're looking at, but not the -2. Hmm? Oh, did you type yours on it? So that's a good question. Slope is always multiplied. So like the 1/3 is actually your slope. Even though, and you can kind of think of it like y equals mx plus b. That's in the same place as the m is, really. But think about the +4 is it's like your b. So you guys are all putting, Edwin, is that an old shift left on this? What? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So Jasmine had a move down 4. Okay. Good guess. Good guess. So, Donovan, what do you think? Nothing. You just pick something. You can't opt out. This is party for all. All right, Gloria. Do you have a box? Oh no, Gloria, you're doing the chat too, huh? Yeah, I forgot that you were in the chat. All right, Emily, what do you think? Marquise, you got to shift up. Okay. All right, so Jasmine has a shift down 4. Marquise has a shift up 4. You want 4 to be your number? Okay. Good. So always put your number too. Edwin is doing a shift up 4, and now he's going to sleep. No, he's not. He's just so happy he got the answer out. And Emily's going to go with Edwin for the shift up, huh? Okay. So everyone's starting to get on the shift up bandwagon, and that's good that you guys are doing that because the +4 on the end, let's look at this actually. So let's go back. So if I do a +4 on the end, and this is supposed to shift up, then this whole thing should move up, right? Oh, look, did it? Where would that scare you? Did that scare you? So it did shift up 4. You guys, here it is, way up here at 4, right? If I took out the x minus 2, then you can see it a little bit clearer. That's your y-intercept, is right up here at 4, 0, 4. You guys can see that? So basically, the y-intercept is 4. Well, think about where y is. Y is over here on the left side. So 4 is already right on the other side of y. So we don't have to solve for it. So this is, in fact, a shift up 4. Not writing very nice today. Shift up 4. So good. So if we were going to graph this, which we kind of already did, but I'm going to show you guys. Here's the key, right? So this is really important. Are you guys ready for this? The first thing you want to do when you graph this, if you noticed when I was showing you on that other page, is you always want to find the vertex. So does anyone have any idea where what the vertex is? Can't tell? Anybody over there? Jasmine or Carrie? Katie? Carrie is typing. Carrie says the intersection. Carrie is not sure. I know IDK. Okay, those are good. That's good. I'm going to show you guys. Here, right up here, where this 0, comma 4 is, that actually is the vertex. So the vertex is the point where they come together. Okay, so that is the vertex. So knowing that, could you guys tell me what you think the vertex might be here? What would be the x value? So the point of interception? As long as Katie, you mean where, or is that, yeah, as long as you mean it's the point where the two lines intersect. Is that what you mean? Yeah, like the center, where they intersect. Sure. Okay, good. So you guys, what would be my x coordinate? What number? Give me a number. You guys can pick a number from 1 to 5. What do you think? 3. Except for I would maybe go with a number that's in the equation. That's true. I did say 1 to 5. But how about in the equation? So Jasmine, now look, you got Jasmine saying 3. Oh, she changed it to 2. And Carrie says 4. Okay, good. So Katie says 2 or 4. Good. But there is no 3, but there is a 1/3. So I think we're going to go with Jasmine. I don't know, what did you say? 4. So 4 is in there. 4 is going to be something. So that's good. Okay, but you guys, isn't 2 paired with the x? Didn't I say 2 is my x-intercept? Yes. So our vertex is going to be at, I keep not drawing the right thing. So our vertex is going to be at 2, comma what? What's going to be my y value of my vertex? I heard a 4. Yay! Yes, 4. And Edwin, your 4 is good on this one. Yay! Carrie, yeah, okay, Emily, good, good, good. So it's going to be 2, comma 4. So what I'm going to do, so when you graph these, you guys, this is all you have to do. Find the vertex, right? So you look in the equation, you take the opposite of what's here next to the x. So opposite of -2 is +2. And then you take the value on the outside here. That's like your y-intercept, and that's your y. So I go to 2, comma 4, and I make my first point. And then it's really easy because if you remember these absolute value lines, aren't those linear? They're straight, right? They're a straight line. So I know you guys can't see, I switched back over there, but now I'm going to switch back because it didn't go. So our slope is 1/3. So it's just up 1/3, make a point, up 1/3, make a point, and then I can connect my lines with another line like this, maybe. See how that is, you guys? There's one line. And oh, I have to get my other line going. Doesn't really want to do 2 in a row. And there's my other one, and there's my absolute value equation. So think about how easy that was to graph, you guys. I just found a vertex, and then I plotted my slope. What do you guys think? That's pretty good. Edwin, what do you think? Are you tired? Sleepy? Little? Marquise?
2, 4.
No, what do you think about graphing?
10, 12, 14.
He's just gonna run. Now, if you could actually recite pi, that would be very impressive. The whole 2.14.
1, 4, 5, 9, 4. But I gave up.
That was pretty good. That was good. At least you got the 3.141. All right, you guys. So anyway, that's how you graph it. So the graph is going to open up, and the way we determine that is if you look at the slope, it's a positive 1/3. So if the slope is positive, the graph opens up. Okay. So you guys have a lesson on that. All right. Let us move to this one. All right. So here's what I want you guys to do. Let's list the transformations. So we're going to go around in a circle. So Emma, I know is gone. Okay, so we'll go with Donovan first. What does the negative do? Yes, the negative. Get the negative. No, it's in the right place, but the negative, what does it do on like a y equals mx plus b1? Here, I'm going to give you a hint. Are you ready? Okay, we're going to do a hint on the negative. Donovan needs a hint. Are you ready for the hint? Okay, so, oops. Okay, so absolute value of x, right? Here's our regular equation. if I put a negative in front, here we go. Jasmine's typing. We're almost done, Jasmine. Yes, yes, we're almost done. It Ives turns to a Jasmine. I'm sorry, I don't understand what you wrote. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put a negative. Or we'll wait for Jasmine to say one thing. Okay, no. Jasmine, you're taking too long. Oh, my bad. It turns to a positive. Okay, well, it's opening up right now. If I put a negative, what happened to it? Did yours register yet?
Yeah.
Oh, you can kind of see it on mine now, huh? There we go. Okay, what happened to it, you guys? I put a negative. What did it do? Chords. It flipped it. It reflected it. It's called a reflection. Very good. There is a math term for that. That is true. All right, you guys. So that was a reflection. So the negative is a reflection. All right, Donovan. Good. Are you good on that one? Are you gonna get that one forever now? Okay, good. All right, we're going around. So I'm gonna go to Emily because she's sitting here now. I know, Emily, you're very excited about that. What is the 4 gonna do? It's not going to shift it because that's only inside the absolute value or outside on the right. So we'll move some parts. Good. What? Okay, I'm going to give you a hint. Okay, Donovan, you ready? Ready for your hint?
2.
Oh, not 2. Okay, so here's our parent function, right? Y equals absolute value x. And so what do we have in the front? A 2? Is it a 2? Or 4. So I'm going to put a 4. Okay, you guys ready? Here's what's going to happen. Ready? I'm putting a 4. Oh. Oh, wait. It takes a while to register on your screen. And there it goes. What did it do? Yeah, but that's not the right term. I'm going to give you some terms. How about stretch or shrink?
Stretch.
So shrink is like a wilting flower. Yeah, so think about if you stretch. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Right, then your arms go up. So that is a stretch. That is a stretch. Very good. And then when you guys list your things, you always want to list like how much. So this is a stretch of 4. Gloria's getting all nervous because she's sitting next at the table and she knows she's getting the 6. And then Edwin and Marquise get off on this one. What does the 6 do? The 6. Very good. And so what is the technical math terminology for it goes up? You're exactly right. It started with an S, remember, because Emily tried to just put X on hers. F is a perfect. Very good, good job. Shift up 6. Very nice, very nice. That is a shift up 6. Okay, now do you guys see how I write that? That's complete, right? So make sure you use shift or stretch or shrink or reflection, and then always put the number if there's a number with it. Oh, wait, Edwin, you don't get off. You actually have a question. What is the vertex? What's the x coordinate of the vertex? Okay, you get to pick a number. There's only 2 numbers. Well, actually, there's a 3rd number in there. It's kind of confusing, I know. That was a good guess because you picked it because it was close to the x, maybe? Okay, but and this is a hard one because you can't really see it. But what if I wrote it like this? What if I said this equation was also, you could write it like this. So you got the negative 4, right? And then inside the absolute value, you have x minus 0 plus 6. Same equation, right? Because x minus 0 is still x. Could you figure out what the x coordinate was then if I did that? Yes. Very nice. All right, good. Marquise, what's the y coordinate of the vertex?
0.
No, that was the x coordinate. No, there's no 2 in there. 4 is the stretch. That's the slope.
6.
Okay, yay. 6. No, not 8. All right, so that's our vertex of 0, 6 is up here. Okay, so now we're going to go outside to the first person I see on the outside. Jasmine. Jasmine, Jasmine, Jasmine. Is this graph going to open up or down? What do you think? Jasmine, I see your name in the chat. You just have to type up or down, and now she's typing. And Carrie is typing too.
Down.
We have a guess from Marquise. We'll see. Jasmine, you can't think. You just have to, like, you know, throw it out there. Up or down, up or down. Jasmine says me. Keep top. Are you guys also thinking whether it would go up or down? You saw it? Jasmine says up. Jasmine says up. So, okay, we're going to see if Carrie agrees with you. Carrie, do you agree with the up or would you say down? Carrie. Katie is typing in her notepad. Carrie is typing in her. So Carrie is going to say up. Okay, Katie. Katie is saying up, up, up. Is that you? That's saying up, up, up over there. So all you guys are saying up. Okay, so remember that there's a minus here, right? So remember if we look back on our graphs, right now it's going up with no minus, right? I want you guys to notice if I put a minus in front, and it's going to take a second to register on yours. Eventually it will. Do you guys see it? Is it opening up or opening down? Down. You see how it starts and then it opens down because it gets bigger on the way down. You guys see like a funnel? So it's actually opening down. It's okay, Carrie. It's okay. So if you have a negative, that means there's a reflection. That means it's going to open down. So that is good to know when you are doing your slope, right? So this graph is going to open down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight that. And now we are going to be able to graph it. So it opens down. So see, this is why this is going to be really important, because if I'm graphing this and I'm doing my slope of -4, what if I went up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1? Like that wouldn't make sense, right? Because it would open up. So to make sure that it's negative, I have to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and then over 1. And this is symmetric on both sides, so I can just plot the symmetrical point there. And then I'm ready to draw my lines. And all is good for you guys. So how's that? So good? Okay, so key points for you guys for this. Oops, that's not the right one. When you guys are graphing, you want to think about all the components of your equation. You want to think about the transformations so that you understand what they do. But you really want to pull out the vertex. And so whatever's in with the x, if there's nothing, Edwin, right, it's just going to be 0. And then you always want to pull off the y-intercept here at the end to be your y coordinate. So you want to find your vertex, and then you want to look to see if the graph opens up or down. And then you want to graph your points based on your slope. All right. All right, you guys. Any questions on graphing absolute value? Okay. All right, you guys. Then we're gonna conclude. We're gonna solve absolute value equations next time. We're gonna wait and do that next time, just because you guys aren't quite on it yet. But we're gonna conclude with going back to the discussion link. So go back to your Schoology discussion. Or actually, I can go back for you guys. I think maybe. Let me see if I can. And then maybe you can look on my screen. So don't go back yet. Well, actually you can if you want. I have to find it. Except that I think I got out of it. Okay, so going back to it, we're in quarter 2. So these discussions will always be in the accurate week. So if you're behind, just remember you have to go to the right weeks in order to get to the discussion. So this is week 11. So let's look at what you guys said. All right. So we already went over Jasmine's, and Marquise said the kind of the same thing, right? And did you just guess and check with that, actually, Marquise? Okay, so he said a little bit, maybe, that's fine. So he picked a number, and he said 8 CDs, and he multiplied it by $5.25, and he got $42. So he looked and he said, well, I only have $8 left, so the most I could buy would be 2 books. So that's good. He did a plug and chug, that's fine. And Jasmine, it looks like you kind of did the same type of thing. $42 plus 2 CDs would give you 48. Good. Emma already posted. Very nice. So it looks like you guys are all kind of going on the same bandwagon. It looks like the 8 and 2. You're kind of checking. But here's the thing too, right? You guys could, oops, what happened? You guys could also choose to buy a different combination, right? You could choose to purchase more books, right? Yeah, so everybody just must like CDs or something, or everybody just is afraid to do anything different. Although Katie said 8 books and 4 CDs, so nice. So what I'm going to have you guys do, so it looks like when I'm kind of going through here, everybody just picked numbers, and that's totally fine. So what your job is going to be here right after we end is to do like what Emma did. Do you see how Emma went in and responded to Jasmine, and she said, I was doing it the long way, and your equation is much easier and simple. It helped me out a lot. So she wrote something that she learned from Jasmine's way, okay, compared to how she did it, which is right here. She multiplied and did a bunch of stuff. So you can either write something that you learned, or if you have a question for somebody, like Gloria said, 9 CDs and 4 books, somebody might write a question to her, like, well, how did you get that, right? Because Gloria did not write how you got that. It's okay, you don't have to write that. Or maybe you go to Carrie's and you say, oh, Carrie, my question is, if you love books, could you have just purchased all books? Because if you purchased all books, you could buy this many books, you know, or something like that. So you can write something that you learned. You could write a question you have for somebody. But that's what you guys are going to do to complete the webinar. So, any questions, actually? You guys? Okay. So I'm going to show you one last thing about this discussion, actually. So I'm make sure I have the question down. So it's so you guys, somebody remember this? You have $50, right? CDs are $5.25 and books are $3. Okay. So one thing you guys have to think about that I wanted you to think about for this, and you can continue on the way you guys are thinking, but you have a maximum of $50, right? Can you spend $51? No. But you can spend 50, right? You could spend 49, you could spend 48. Some of you guys didn't make it to 50. So here's the thing. What you can spend, let's say you have books, right? You can buy books. And how much were the books? $3. So the books were $3. And then you had CDs. And how much were the CDs? Thank you for remembering that, Donna. So what we could do is we could create some variables to represent the number of books, right? So we could say maybe a little b is equal to the number of books. Oops. And we could say little c is equal to the number of CDs maybe, okay? And then could we make some kind of inequality? Like however many books you buy, they cost $3, right? Plus however many CDs you buy, those cost $5.25. So the total of that, does it need to be equal to 50? Greater than 50? Less than 50? What do you guys think? Very good, Donovan. Less than or equal to. So from the perspective of all this stuff, that stuff has to be less than or equal to 50. Do you guys see how we can make an inequality with that? Does that make sense? So when you guys think about these, oh, how did my screen get so big? Strange. I don't know. Very interesting. Full screen. Full screen. I don't know what happened. Anyway, so I can't really see. If you guys are sending me a question, I can't really see, just to let you guys know. But when you think about this, all of you guys were left with change, right? So you didn't quite spend the full 50. So again, just to let you guys know, think about an inequality when you can spend up to some amount, but you can't spend above it, okay? All right, very good. So any questions from anybody? All right, so make sure you go in and finish your discussion, and then that's the end of our webinar. All right, thanks everybody.